Out of the Engen class, we head into the G&H Transport Extreme Supercars. This is what a lot of people came out to see this weekend, I can tell you. And they certainly made a welcome return to KwaZulu-Natal with massive, massive machinery coming to do battle. Porsches, Ferraris, crossbows, Lamborghinis, and BMWs, all fighting for honors at the front end of the G&H Transport Extreme Supercars. In race number 1, at the front end, it was going to be a battle royal between the KTM Crossbow and Anton Krunier in a Subaru Works Impreza. And one of the fastest cars around this track we've seen, already getting in it, and into the thick of it with Dion Duplessis and the KTM Crossbow around the outside. Oh, the Ferrari was there. Charles Arangis giving Anton Krunier some big hassles as they headed into the corkscrew for the first time.
Yeah, Charles Arangis made a mistake there in the Ferrari. He's going to lose big drive now, fighting that big horsepower Ferrari all over this Dezzi Raceway track. But is that man Anton Krunier who's out front at the moment?
Nice to see Willie de Beer in the Porsche right on his tail. Duplessis has recovered. There is Jordan Sherritt, one of our youngest karting drivers, making a step up into extreme supercars. He was in a Mini similar to mine in the national production cars earlier on. He's now in a 350Z and working really hard in amongst the thick of it there. You can see Greg Parton in the second crossbow, and here comes action. Side by side, Des Bloem from Alberton having a super run there, and up his inside comes Sean Dermody, forcing the Ferrari of Willem van der Westhuizen. That's a brand new Ferrari, by the way, onto the outside and just gets through.
Can you believe it, Greg? 80 Rand to get in the track, and these are the cars that you watch. Where else in the world will 80 Rand get you that? And look at Darby Olivier on the inside of the Ferrari of Arangis, and he makes the move stick. Impressive drive there.
Incredible driving there from the M3 Ti as it came up onto the inside of the Dunlop loop. Gets ahead of Arangis. Arangis now going to try and come back at him, use the additional power, but doesn't have any answer here. Dion Duplessis, gets it all wrong. That's on lap 1, of course, where he went wide, being forced out by Anton Krunier. Manages to catch the crossbow, tries to get it going again, and only loses a few positions.
Right, this is on board now with Dantevue. He's got the two local men in Parton and Sun Moodley ahead of him. And it looks like Parton has... Oh, that's it. He's collided with Sun Moodley.
Came together with a Bigfoot Express Plate Porsche and unfortunately put on the sideline. Greg Parton, he's got a Lamborghini there on the sideline and a crossbow on track. And that crossbow's getting vicious as it gets up the inside, looking for opportunities. Look in the background, though. This is Des Bloem and Sean Dermody fighting hard. Bloem seems to have a little bit of an issue. I think he might have been rear-ended already. And there's already a bit of a problem here on the custom shop BMW. Check this out.
Definitely a problem. You could see, I think it's that right rear wheel smoking, and Dermody all over the back of him now, but just can't find a way past. And I wonder, it looks like a piece of the fiberglass is actually touching that rear wheel, so that's causing the smoke. I wonder if he's aware of that.
As they come up into the Dunlop loop, he'll certainly be aware of it from the pressure coming from behind. There's Winterboer. Then it's Willem van der Westhuizen. The KTM crossbow of Greg Parton, and there's a bit of a thump from the back from Sean Dermody, a massive one, and probably that's about the third or fourth one, in fact. Des Bloem eventually pulling to the sideline, and issues here on the custom shop BMW, but he's not happy about the fact that there was big issues coming from behind and lots of thumping and bumping from Dermody.
Greg, you've got to be a brave man to manhandle the horsepower of these cars around this Dezzi Raceway track. Sean Dermody's doing that well in the Ford Focus at the moment. He's making his way through, and that man Des Bloem definitely has all kinds of problems and now falling back through the field.
Two black cars. One is a Porsche, one is that Hendok 350Z, going well in the hands of Jordan Sherritt, one of our youngest drivers, particularly in this class and on the Extreme Festival. As they come through now, you can see pressure being applied by Charles Arangis on the G&H Transport BMW, and Arangis can't find a way past on Olivier. Fighting for second place here. It's an epic battle between Ferrari and BMW. Currently, that's a 325 Ti at the hands of Darby Olivier. And of course, Olivier, one of the most underrated drivers in this country, certainly knows his way around here. Big flame out of the Subaru. That doesn't sound good, and it doesn't look good either. He's pulling to the sideline with 1 lap to go. Anton Krunier, with an 8-second lead, has now had to pull to the sideline, giving Darby Olivier the possibility of a victory.
Oh, I cannot believe that. There you can see the stranded Anton Krunier parked on the side. Now it's up to Charles Arangis. He would have seen that, and now he's not going for third place on track. He's going for the win. So he's got to get that Ferrari somehow to the front of the field.
Two Class B cars as Des Bloem pulls in and unfortunately out of this race, but two Class B cars leading the front end of this field. It's all about Arangis trying to find a way past on Olivier. Down in third place, it's Willie de Beer in the Class Bs, but he's actually fourth overall on track. Then Willem van der Westhuizen having an epic battle and leading the Class C's just ahead of Parton in a Class A KTM crossbow. Look in the background, the second crossbow, in fact the leading crossbow now is Dion Duplessis. He's in third place behind these two, but he will win out the Class A battle on track.
You can see Arunji's trying every which way possible to get past that man, Dawie Olivier, and he's not going to make it stick. Coming into the final turn, you can see how defensive Olivier went, and he's going to come to the line. Is he going to use the power of that Ferrari? He tries, but unfortunately doesn't make that move stick.
0.6 of a second as they cross the line between the two of them. Absolutely incredible stuff. Olivier and Ranji's putting on a really awesome battle. Duplessis wins out Class A. Class B goes to Dawie Olivier and overall, and Jordan Shirt wins the Class C's. Des Bloem with some problems.
We've got a production driver in our class now that's coming strong for us. And unfortunately, he hit me from behind and forced me to finish the race. So we didn't manage to finish, but at least we'll get a go on the next race.
Son Moodley also had some issues of his own. Let's find out what went wrong.
Black Parton slaughtered himself on the right between me and the concrete wall, and he bumped me quite badly that he immobilized my car. And disappointing because it was still early in the race. And anyway, I can't fix the car, I don't have the spares, but I'll be back. I'm enjoying this track. Looks like people are scared of it, but it feels nice when it's scary.
Extremely close racing in the first one. I think more of the same is expected now for race number 2 as they all start prepping. Hopefully Anton Krunier can get that Subaru back on track for race 2. A couple of cooking Porsches out there as well, and I'm sure that all the cars will be back and ready to rock and roll. Great to see Jimbo Jonakara running in Ricky's car, and of course Ricky Jonakara down here from G&H Transport to support the weekend. On board with Winterboer as we cross the line and head down into turn 1. He sits in 4th place in the Barron's machine, and that ADF Motorsport BMW really is on song here and certainly going well.
Dawie Olivier is out front at the moment. We see look at that great move on the inside there from one of the Nissan GTs.
Yes, indeed. Jordan Sherritt just sneaking up on the inside of his stablemate. The two Hendok cars coming very close. And in fact, Willie de Beer just being forced out. I thought it was the Hendok Porsche, but it was actually Willie de Beer that got forced wide. And now it looks like Sherritt is going hunting for a KTM crossbow.
Talking about crossbows, Dion Duplessis in the KTM crossbow R machine is up in 2nd place. We saw in race number 1, he got it all kinds of wrong going into turn number 1, but he's right up there. He fought his way through the field in race number 1, and he's the fastest man on track. So watch out for Dion Duplessis.
Willem van der Westhuizen also looking dangerous just behind there in the Martini colours, and that's a Ferrari 430 GT3. An absolutely incredible piece of machinery, and it's going well here so far this weekend. It's a welcome return for him, of course. Behind him comes the hard-pushing Sean Dermody. There's the Hendok Porsche. So it looks like Fred de Kock having a great run now, just behind that RS Focus. But at the front end, things are heating up big time.
Yeah, talk about hard charging. Charles Arunji's in that Ferrari. He just cannot make moves around this Dezzi racetrack. We saw in race number 1, he got stuck behind Dawie Olivier and tried to park that Ferrari wherever he could. Now he's got a KTM crossbow ahead of him and trying to use that power of that Ferrari, but just unable to make the pass at the moment.
He's under pressure as well, because I can tell you something, Jordan Sherritt is not going to hold back here. He is a very accomplished young driver considering his age, and is already starting to do things internationally as well. Oh, speaking of international, that's one way to get it wrong. The man from Zimbabwe has damaged the back end of that Barron's ADF Motorsport BMW, and now has to just sneak ahead of the second 350Z there of Gary Sherritt.
Greg, I was talking about the undulation, how easy it is to catch you out. You get on the gas a little bit too early over some of these hills, and you can so easily lose the rear of the car. And that's exactly what happened to that man Winterboer. But look at this now, the crossbow is coming. Dawie Olivier is under pressure now from the crossbow.
Olivier looking for a double victory. Remember now that we see Anton Krunier has not made it back onto track, and that's a big pity, but I'm sure he'll be back and fighting when we get to Friday. This is Olivier's point of view, looking from behind. Keep an eye out as that crossbow closes in, as they get into the Dunlop loop. As they come out of Dunlop now, it looks like Dion Duplessis is having to not only fight for the lead, but also fight off a charging Ferrari.
Oh, look at the crossbows coming on the inside. That is Dion Duplessis trying to make the move on the inside in turn 1. Looks like he's going to make it stick, and Dawie Olivier for the no, the crossbows run wide. That's Dion Duplessis that has run wide and allowed Dawie Olivier straight back. Oh, look at that.
Onto the kitty litter, well, not the kitty litter, just the marbles on the outside. Here's the point of view from Dion Duplessis. He comes off and goes through the second option of turn 1 that they've got here at Dezzi's. Tries to get on it, and just gets it all sideways on his own and is off the circuit. Speaking of off the circuit, Fred de Kock also running wide in the Hendok Porsche, and that is through turn 5. So issues right round the track here in the second heat of G&H Transport Extreme Supercars.
That's what happens, Greg, when you've got 6,000 plus horsepower to play with in some of these cars. On board here with Des Bloom, we saw he had some problems in race number 1, doing a much better job here in race number 2, running in the top 10 at the moment, but running, we saw him duct tape that car up, and it seems to have worked. So great job from that team to get him out in race number 2.
Just behind Gianni Giannicaro, teammate to the man who leads things out right now, Davy Olivier. So the G&H Transport boys having a good day in the saddle here. Gianni looking for a possibility of a second place in Class B's. Oh, and Charles has tossed it. He got it all wrong at the corkscrew and tried to go up the inside, just didn't quite make it stick. And Jordan Sherritt, incredibly, has moved up to second place.
Yeah, Charles Arangis, he was getting so frustrated behind Davy Olivier, and he just couldn't make the pass. He was trying to line it up and unfortunately got on the gas a little bit too early. What that's done now is promoted Greg Parton up into third place and Jordan Sherritt up into second. And this is the battle we can see on track now for the second and third position.
Incredible stuff here. This young man is heading across, of course, to Germany in the very near future to go and represent South Africa in the Audi TT Cup. So we wish him all the very best. What a baptism of fire here at the Extreme Supercars and, of course, at Dezzi's Raceway. Davy Olivier, the king of Dezzi's, particularly in the Extreme Supercars, going to come across the line for a double victory in the G&H Transport BMW TI. Second place to Jordan Sherritt in the 350Z. He wins out Class C. Greg Parton comes through for third place and the win in Class A. Sean Dermody down in sixth place takes the Class Ds. And a great effort from Gianni Giannicaro, second place in the Bs in seventh. Davy Olivier, though, the man of the moment in Extreme Supercars.
Charles put me under a lot of pressure there, and my brake pedal started going away, so I was struggling with my brakes. But I decided, let me make the car as wide as possible and let's see, maybe I can win this thing. And he spun out there on the last lap. Unfortunately for him, but fortunate for me, eh?
Well, head off and grab yourself a snack, because straight after the break, we give you some more action from Dezzi's Raceway.